Thank you again, President Grisloff. So in September 2013, I had my second interview for the position of Honors College Program Coordinator and Office Manager. Bill and Dr. Ito DuPont asked me to define honors in one sentence, with Bill specifically adding no semicolons and make it short and sweet. I did do that, but I don't remember what I told them. But I remember not being happy with my answer. And on the train afterwards, all I could think about is, how do you define honors in a sentence? The honors experience is so much, it almost can't be put into words. 10 years later, and honors still remains almost impossible to capture in a sentence or a speech. Honors has become more than Bill and I could have ever hoped and dreamed it would be. To look out across this room and social media and in real life and know how much honors has impacted all of your lives. Friendships that started at Welcome Week or honors orientation that are still going strong today. Honors roommates that became roommates in the real world and best friends. Honors floor mates that eventually joined each other on a kick line in Radio City. Honors mentors who pass on jobs and internships to their mentees, and future honors students that they have never even met, but have welcomed with open arms. Honors connections that started on the honors floor, at orientation, in an honors class, or on an honors spring break trip to Philly that led to a girlfriend, a boyfriend, a partner, or recently for several, a fiance. He hasn't shown up, a couple of them haven't shown up yet. They're on the list out there, but when they do, some of you are friends with them. So make sure to remind them that honors is full service. So one-stop shop. So we will officiate those weddings. That's part of everything we do. But in all seriousness, I know many of my honors peers who are here, my former advisees who seem to be in that corner, and students who are currently living what they dreamt about when they were sitting in their honors advisor's office all those years ago. For example, I have had the privilege of going down to DC every year to meet up with all of my former advisees and hear them tell me about their lives. And that what they're telling me is what they dreamed about when they were first-year students. And I watch as that group takes care of each new advisee that goes down to DC and welcomes them. Or the students who I used to attend New York Comic-Con with, and now I visit their booths, I sit in on their panels, and I celebrate them. Or the students who use their thesis to design new technology for the MTA that's already being implemented. Speaking of the MTA, while I was on that train ride after the interview, in typical honors student fashion, I sent in another answer, which was, the Honors College offers a personalized and enriching college experience for some of the university's most exceptional students. While that is still completely accurate, I would now answer it differently. Honors means something different to each of us. So I'm sure you have your own answer. As for mine, Bill, you are now going to get that short and sweet answer. About 10 years too late, but you're going to get it.
All things come to you.
Honors to me is family. Many of you have heard me say this, so it comes as no surprise. But here's the explanation you've never heard. My family is quite small. I'm an only child, so it is basically me and my parents. I grew up as one of about 5 kids down here in Fidei back in the day, so I never had much of a family or community. That changed when I came to PACE as a student and hung out with my honors friends. And it very much changed when I joined honors as a staff member. Many of you here today went from being my early students to some of my closest friends. Now we spend our birthdays with each other, we have dinners together, we go to concerts together, and so much more. Others became like my cousins, my nieces, my nephews, and like my kids, complete with the Mother's Day cards I still get from many of you. You ran into my office for a hug when you won your scholarships, got the internship you wanted, got the acceptance into grad school, or the person you were crushing on asked you out on a date. You came into my office to cry over the roommate conflicts, the professor that wouldn't listen, the person that broke up with you, or just you felt overwhelmed. Others came into my office to have me work magic. Make transfer credits magically appear, get you more money, help you graduate early, or deal with some impossible problem. In turn, you brought me lunch, often mac and cheese and pizza, because you knew I used to barely leave my desk. You walked me home when I had a raging fever and could barely stand and was stupid enough to come into work. You invited me out to meet you at Insomnia Cookies at 1 a.m. because you lived across the street and there was a crazy good deal and you couldn't eat them all. This one is homesick today, but you texted me when you were going on a date to wish you luck and Snapchatted me years later with a picture of a ring. You made me your emergency contact because your real parents were hours away and you knew I would be there in a heartbeat if you called. You stood out in the cold with me in the middle of the night to watch Obama's helicopter land because we lived across the street. You attended countless Broadway shows with me where we stage doored in the cold to get an autograph, often of one of our very own students. You entered the Broadway lottery for Harry Potter and the Cursed Child for my birthday, so if you won, I could go on my birthday. You held on to me and tried to teach me how to ice skate, and suddenly my advisees became the advisor. You brought me souvenirs from your study abroad experiences and goodbye gifts, like a gold apple for my desk, to remember you by. While I could go on and on with amazing honors experiences, I'll end with this one. You threw me a surprise party for my 30th birthday and for earning my doctorate. So we have seen each other through good times and bad. As Bill can tell you from one of my many advising sessions in his office, that we could barely fit into back in the day, working for honors, let alone a university, was never part of my pace path. But I will be eternally grateful that fate stepped in and brought me back home. I look forward to the next 40 years and everything honors will become. Many of you have heard me say and Bill say at Pacebound and orientation that honors is for life. We hope you and your friends remember that and embrace that by helping to contribute to the next 40 years in any way you can. In doing so, you'll help to continue to make honors an incredible place that is hard to define. For many of you in this room, I served as your associate director or your associate dean. For a smaller few in the room, and for me, when I was a student, Bill was my director of the Honors College, and he laid the foundation for honors. And I was lucky enough to be able to build on that. Richmond, you missed your shout out. I will officiate your wedding if you want to. So as I was lucky enough to build on Bill's work, so without further ado, I'd like to hand it over to the former Director of Honors, Bill Offit. But before I do, Bill, I have one question.
Yeah?
Do I still get the job?
We'll get back to you. Let's see if I can figure out how to get this to come up. I always need help. I need to see the PowerPoint. Okay. So then I need to go slideshow.
A little bit down.
There we go. All the way over from beginning. There's beginning, which is a very good place to start, a musical once told me. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. Thank you both Jackie and President Krisloff for stepping on my line about honors being forever. I have to take that out right now. Thank you for all of the honors staff who I'm told will actually get an introduction after this bit is over. I wanted to thank you all for being here. to share both your memories and your lives once again, because those are the things that I care about. I'm going to do a little riff on nostalgia now. Nostalgia, what are alumni events but in chances to remember what had happened before. It seems in the popular press, nostalgia refers to bad haircuts, suspicious fashion choices, things that look silly in retrospect. Anyone here remember Y2K panic? Okay, there you go. Nostalgia seems to produce many TV shows, from Happy Days to that 70s show to that 90s show to Stranger Things and my favorite recent one, Dairy Girls, which I don't know if anyone watched, but that was a lot of fun for looking back to the 90s. But no one can remember everything. And what we remember, what we choose to remember, what we choose to celebrate, tells us important things about the you that you have become now. With that as a premise, I want to start with my own nostalgia. Some of you have seen this. Let's see if I can, there we go. Some of you have seen this picture in my office. This is 1976 as a senior in college. I'm in, if you can't tell, I'm in the lower left-hand corner. I once said lower right-hand corner and they were very confused. I remember what I was doing with these people then. This is our championship game co-ed intramural softball team of 1976. And what is important is I'm still in touch with 3 of those people in the, not to mention myself, in the picture, okay? This is what, and Jackie talks about family, I think ought to be remembered are these memories. So what are our shared memories of honors? Well, anyone remember this? Very soon after I took over honors, I started giving this out at both recruiting events and at orientation, and to the best of my knowledge, we are still doing that. The premise here is that you have to guess which of these 9 college professor types did I self-identify with. Do you remember? Yeah, I know, no cheating from the honors staff, okay? Anybody remember where I fit on this list? I'm not going to waste your time. There I am. I'm the single theory to explain everything maniac. And here I am. I'm still this guy, okay? A little fatter, a little balder, though I didn't start with much to begin with, but I'm still this guy and I'm still here, and I'm still trying to convey that honors will be a completely different collegiate experience. One that is quirky, one that is willing to tolerate fools and foolishness gladly, one that's about academics, but also the belief that what you learn outside the classroom has been far more important than what you learn inside. And so I'll show you a few of these are the embarrassing moments I thought to include in today's show. Okay, some of you may have gone to this. This is what I used to do for orientation of incoming honors students. We would all go to Central Park for a picnic. This is, I believe, the last one. I didn't do it my first year, which was 2001, but I did it every subsequent year as a director. Now we do it much better as Welcome Week, and you can see it as pictures there, but I did what I could. What I remember about this is dragooning my then small children into trucking across Central Park, large amounts of food and beverages, because you can't set up in Central Park you have to bring it all in. And my only labor were my 10 and 7-year-olds, so they have yet to forgive me for that. The other part I remember of these was getting chased off of the great lawn by a woman whose job it was to protect the grass from touch football games. Then there was honors karaoke. Halloweens on these things. There is, and I'll just point, let me go over here. This is not a real snake. Okay, but that was my son's favorite toy. Okay, and there I am singing on the right. This t-shirt, this is my Halloween outfit. I came dressed as a college student from the 1970s. So over there. And then this, is Reggie Thomas here? He was on the list. I don't know if he came in. Reggie Thomas somehow convinced me to play in this charity game against the Harlem Wizards, a cut-rate version of the Globetrotters. And so it was faculty and staff against the Harlem Wizards, okay? And I had to buy that outfit for him because he continually called me Papa Awful. So those I remember. I wonder if any of you remember these from the honors newsletters. Every month I was supposed to write for the newsletter. I think it started by Cairo here, started me writing, and I had nothing important to say, so I always relied on music lyrics and quotes to start whatever it is I said. This music is only known by Deadheads, so if you recognize it, then you're in a special crew here. I often wondered if anyone read these deep thoughts. I was trying to be profound every month, and it's very hard to be profound on a regular basis. The only thing I told myself was the newsletter and the rest of what we were doing, that was profound. So that was my point. Now, here I am at a Wendy's in Montreal. Why? Someone took a picture of me on our Montreal trip at Wendy's. I haven't the slightest idea. If any of you went on any, I did 6 spring break trips. If any of you remember them, there was a long list of rules, and you had to sign waivers, and you had to do all sorts of other things before they let you on the bus. But there were only 2 rules. 2 rules. 1, don't call me from jail. Number 2, don't call me from a hospital. Otherwise, you're on your own at night in Montreal. This isn't in my speech, but I remember they went to Montreal. I said, why does anyone want to go to Montreal in March? And they said, drinking age is 18, and they have a casino. So that was our education in Montreal. My favorite part of this trip was not recorded by a video or a camera. That was when the bus driver on the way back from Montreal decided we didn't have to stop for no stinking border guards, and ran through there without being stopped, which led to the wonderful feeling about 5 miles down the road of being surrounded by large, unhappy border police with flashing lights and sirens. I'm so glad they obeyed the no illicit substances rule after they searched our bus. Anyway, so that was one thing. And then, just to show you what I really cared about, this article in the Pace Press appeared in 2007, where I'm proudest of being signed by the Boston Red Sox to if you look up here, it'll tell you it's $12.8 million a year, okay, but they're going to use the rest of the money to rebuild Pace's budget. So it's just, So I'm not sure if it actually happened, Jackie would ever forgive me for pitching for the Red Sox, but that's the way it was. It's perhaps my finest, if untrue, honors moment. To conclude, everyone, when I was director and for many years after, received this document in addition to the comics. It was the Honors College Bill of Rights. Does anybody remember? Does anybody, I think Jackie still has a copy. Anybody still have a copy of this thing? Especially for those of you who are lawyers out there. I put this out when I took over honors on September 4th, 2001, 1 week before 9/11. I did my best not to think of it as a curse or an omen, but we have kept the faith with these rights, including, if you go all the way down to the bottom, the last one, which is you have the right to be serious and the right to have fun. I've never thought that, you know, college needs to be as hard as we make it. And honors part in that was trying to do something to make it a little easier, a little more fun, a little better for the humans that go to college. So I'll end this with what I say at every graduation. At every graduation, I thank all the parents, you know, the people at the honors ceremonies, not at the big graduation, the people at the honors ceremonies. I thank all of the parents, brothers, sisters, relatives, and friends for sharing their honors students with us for the last 4 years. And then I say, I now thank you for sharing yourselves, again, by being here, and I'm thankful for your generosity of all of you in helping building honors, building your lives, because you sure helped me build mine. Thank you.